Hi everyone, how are you? So today I'm going to show you a little bit of my bullet journal setup for January. So first of all, I would like to say that I apologize in advance for any English mistakes. I'm from Brazil, so English is not my first language. So yeah, I apologize and please bear with me. I hope my accent isn't too thick that you can't understand me. And let's move on to the video. So I don't always plan on my bullet journal, but I decided to give bullet journaling another go because I actually wanted to use a little bit more of the things that I already own. I own a lot of washi tapes and brush pens that I don't actually use them in my regular planners, mostly because I plan on pocket planners and the space that I have to use those kind of things is very limited. I don't know. Anyways, so in that sense, bullet journal allows me to be a little bit more creative and incorporate those different things. So what I'm doing here is that I'm just setting up my monthly page for January. So I'm just gonna do a header with my Tombow dual brush. So this pen is actually one of the pens that I don't ever use them in my other planners because it's a little bit too big and it's just my lettering with it turns out too big for my other planners, so I just never use them. So that's something that I really appreciate being able to do in my bullet journal. And since this notebook that I'm using is not too big, I decided to do a month on 2-page spread because this way I will have a little bit more room to write my appointments and holidays and things like that. So I'm just doing Sunday through Tuesday on one page and Wednesday through Saturday on the other page. And it's a very simple page. I just made a grid and then numbered it. So what I like to do on these pages usually is to just write down the holidays and some appointments that I'm absolutely sure are gonna happen because I don't like, moving, erasing things in my planner. So I usually just write down the things that I'm absolutely sure are gonna happen, and then I just fill it out as the week passes, as I'm more confident that the tasks and appointments that I need to get done by those days, that those are really happening. So also, if you notice, I have a little bit of a mistake counting my grids on the right side page, but that doesn't bother me too much. And what I'm doing here now is that I actually decided to use for all of this setup all of the things that I got in the on the Simply Gilded subscription box. So the washes, all of the washes are from the Simply Gilded subscription box. The pen is also from the sub box. So yeah, it's a great way to use all of the things you already have. And I think it ends up looking really good. And the fact that I'm using something from a sub box makes all of the things very cohesive throughout the month. That's not something that I'm probably gonna do for all of the weeks, to limit myself to use only those washes and those colors. But at least for the first few spreads of the month, I think it's very nice to have something a little bit more cohesive. And this pen from Simply Gilded is really nice. I actually really enjoyed it. The only downside is that it is a gel pen, so it smears a little bit. So what I tried to do was to use some note pages that I had laying around to try not to smear it too much when I was writing. But I ended up smearing a little bit anyways, which, it doesn't really bothers me, but yeah. So for this other page, what I'm actually doing is I'm setting up a trackers page. So I don't always track my habits, but I've noticed that I've been tracking a lot on my pocket planner, water intake and other things like skincare and vitamin intakes and things like that. And I was finding it was a little bit, I didn't have enough space in my pocket planners to do that, so I decided to move that to my bullet journal. So for my bullet journal trackers page, what I did was I felt it would be too, I wouldn't have enough room in one page only to write all 31 days of the month, sorry. And also the names of the habits that I'm trying to track. So I decided to do them in 2 pages, like a two-page spread. So that actually ended up giving me a little bit more room to add a few more habits that I wanted to track. They are not something that I actually do every day, but it will be something, they are all things that I want to be better at in this new year. So I decided to include them anyways. So I also included some challenges that I'm doing this month, which are the Oh.SoCuteDoodle challenge and the lettering every damn day lettering challenge. So both of them I don't do every single day as I wish, but I at least do them once or twice per week, and then I just try to catch up with everything that I should have done during that week. But it would be nice to at least try to set aside some time each day for me to do that, not only because it is nice to practice, but it is also nice to have a little bit of time to myself, and when I'm drawing or practicing lettering is a time that I have to relax. So it would be really nice if I could manage to give myself some time each day to do that. I'm also including a social media tracker, so I'm gonna track each time I post to Instagram, to Facebook, to YouTube, if I'm actually answering to comments on all of those platforms, because since I moved here, my routine has been all over the place, and now that I'm starting to get more settled, I would really like to get back to connecting with people more. So that's something that I really want to do better this year. And I think having a habit tracker like that might actually help, because if you're seeing like a checklist that you have to do every day, it might actually push me a little bit more to do them. So I ended up adding a lot of habits to that tracker, but I still didn't fill out the whole page, which is fine. I'd rather have a smaller tracker list than a huge one that I will never do. So yeah, let's see how it goes. And so I left a lot of blank spaces on the bottom of the page, which I may or may not come back later and do some doodling, or maybe letter some phrases. I don't know. For now, I'm just gonna leave it blank, and I think I'm really fine with that. I don't think it will bother me. And yeah, so for the next 2 pages, I actually lost the footage. I had some issues with this new camera that I'm using. So, but what I actually did, I set up the page as I did all of the other ones, with washi on the top and on the bottom. And I just glued in on the left side of the pages the prompts for the challenges, so both Oh.SoCuteDoodles and lettering every damn day challenges. And on the right side page, I actually just divided the page into 7 days and then just number them, because that's where I'm gonna do the lettering challenge for the week. So I'm gonna show them a little bit more later when I finish everything and just flip through how the pages ended up. So I'm sorry for that, but you may have a glimpse of it during the flip through. And again, I'm using this Simply Gilded washi tape, which I actually thought I wouldn't like because I don't really like gold that much. But I actually really ended up liking this washi tape. I think it's pretty nice and it sticks really well, which was always an issue for me with gold washi tape. Yeah, and I think that's it for that page. I really like having the prompts printed and for easy access. Otherwise, I would just have to have my cell phone all the time and check either the Facebook groups that they post the challenges or their Instagram accounts, and it's just easier to have them printed out. So for this other page, what I'm doing is I'm setting up my weekly page, my first week of 2019. And I usually was doing on my bullet journal a week on one page, but I found it was a little bit it was just not enough space for me to write all the things I wanted, and I actually really wanted to have a separate space to write down the things that I needed to do during that week that didn't necessarily have a specific date to occur. So I decided to try a week on 2 pages this time, and let's see how it goes. So what I did, I divided each page into 4 spaces, and then on the first one I just wrote this week with a tumble twins, I think it's called. So then again, the thing I'm liking the most about doing the bullet journal is to use all of these things that I have that I don't usually use on my other planners. So even though this is a small brush tip, my lettering is still very big with it, so I rarely use it on my other planners. So it's nice to be able to use them here. And I'm just lettering the days. And that's pretty much it for this week. I actually don't plan things too much in advance. So what I like to do is each morning, actually, I go over everything that I have to do and then just write it down on that day. And if I didn't do that, I'll just copy to the next day and so on and so forth. I really like copying the thing that I need to do each day, because it will create some sort of pressure for me to do it. So that's how I usually do bullet journal. I know that's not how everyone does it, but I think for me it helps me a lot. So let's see how this new layout will end up for me, if it's gonna be useful or not. If not, I can always come back to week on one page for the next week. So that's it for this video. I would like to thank you all very much for watching and for being patient with me and my a little bit broken English. And yeah, that's it. Let me know if you enjoyed it and if you want to see more videos like that. And thank you very much. See you in the next one. Bye bye.